Alright, here we go. AZ Stinger here for the Slingshot community. A few of the fellows been asking me about the Tru Oil finish that I put on the Slingshots here. I learned the method from Perry Phillips, who learned it, was passed down to him, and he's passed it down to me. And some Tru Oil here, which is your gun stock finish oil, which is a linseed, it's a polymerized linseed oil with other oils added to it. It's pretty good stuff. I really like it. But without further ado, we'll get down to how we get through this process here. It's a long process, so if you're impatient, don't even bother. I started out, what I did was I took some of my older Slingshots that I've had for years, and first I took some steel wool, 4/0 steel wool there, and I took it and I just started working down the frame, getting the old finish off, any of the old oils, anything like that. Got them down till it was pretty cleaned up when you get off the old finish. And then what you do is, especially when you're using this stuff here, this steel wool tends to leave little fibers behind, so you want to take a cloth and you want to wipe it down real good, blow it off, get those fibers off of there. Then you're going to take your Tru Oil, and you're going to put a little container, and you're going to take the tip of a rag, and you're going to dip it in there, and just a tiny little spot on there, and then you're going to rub it into that wood, and all you want to do is make it wet. You don't want it to pool, you don't want it to streak. You want to wipe it down pretty good, because you'll see it later. So just put the thinnest of coats on it. After you've done that, now the recommended way to do these is to hang them. I didn't necessarily have a way to hang all mine. I did like 25 of them, which I hope I don't have to do again. But what I did with mine is I laid them down on a piece of cardboard, and like I said, my coats were thin enough where they didn't leave marks. So I was pretty lucky. The only thing you're going to have an issue with that, and it's going to be on your really dark woods, and that's like right here. This is my Black Widow, and it's like I told Perry, I had to go back and fix this about 6 times, and it's just it's a real pain. If you want it to be flawless, eventually what I did was this one has the holes in it, and I hung it from the ceiling, and that's how I was able to finish this one with no marks. The other ones like this here, the lighter ones, I didn't have a problem with. Like I said, my coats are very thin, and this stuff will dry. It'll dry pretty quick in the right humidity. What they recommend is 12 hours of drying time. I'm not that patient. I did some of my coats 5 to 6 hours later, but the problem is, if it's not dry when you go to put on your next coat, you're going to start buffing it out, and you're going to see there's a little wet spot in there. If you see that, you're all done. You're going to start all over again. You're going to end up sanding it out, which I had to do a couple times because I got too impatient. So you're best off just waiting 10, 12 hours or whatever. Make sure it's nice and hard. Boom, then you're good. So okay, so now you got your one coat on there. And then what I would do after that coat was on there, I'd take that steel wool again and just lightly brush it all over. Don't have to put much pressure on it, just lightly brush it all over. Alright? Once again, blow it off. Take your towel, wipe it down. You're ready for your next coat. And so on and so on. So, I ended up doing 10 coats. It's a lot of coats. You don't want to go much more than that. Mine were, like I said, mine were very thin, and I think that's the way to go with this stuff. And tell you the truth, I think after the 6th or 7th coat, it had pretty much the shine it's got now. So I think you can stop after that. Tru Oil is a low luster finish, so you'll notice after the first finish, you know, it's got a lower luster to it. The more you put on, being polymerized, it builds up, so it's going to keep building layer after layer, and that's where you're going to get your gloss from. You may not want to, you know, you may not want a slingshot you can see yourself in. Certain ones I did, you know. I love the finish on this this Black Widow. I mean, you've seen it in my other video. I love the finish on it. Some of them you just want that, you know, that satin finish on. That might only require 1 or 2 coats. But you know, it's up to you. You know, you can look at it, and it's all personal. You know, how far you want to take it with the coats. Like I said, 3 coats, 4 coats is plenty. I did 10. What you want to watch out for, one of the things with this, I did a little reading up on Tru Oil, and sometimes it doesn't react well with oily woods. So you want to be careful of that. You might not get your finish right. You might want to try like a Danish oil or something, but there's some oily woods like cocobolo, rosewood. There's a few others. You might want to be a little wary of those. I had a few cocobolos, but I think they had a CA finish on them, so I didn't have a problem. So I didn't encounter any of that, but it's just something I read up on, and I thought I'd pass it along. All right, so now you've got all your finishes on to where you're happy with it, and so now what you're going to do. Here I am at 10 coats. Now what I did now is you're not going to steel wool it anymore, but you're going to take a lint-free cloth, very soft cloth, and you're just going to rub it. And just rub it down real good. And just buff it out a little bit. After you do that, then you're going to take a piece of brown paper bag, which I didn't bring with me here, but just a brown sack like you get your groceries in. You take a piece of that, and you're just going to rub it on there, and just rub it, and you're going to see that shine start to come up. People have used burlap or fine netting or whatever, but a piece of paper sack works really well. And don't ask me. I guess I don't know what it does to it, but it just makes a big difference. And you'll buff that out, say, for about 5 minutes with that piece of brown paper, and it comes up beautiful. After that, you have a pretty good shine on it. So then after that, they're going to do what you call hand rubbing on it. The hand rub it kind of. I talked to Perry about this, and I guess it kind of, well, it heats it up, and it kind of aligns the molecules in the finish. I don't know. I'm no scientist, but I can tell you one thing: before you start rubbing these things, you can smell them. You don't smell anything. When you start rubbing them and they start heating up, you can smell the oils coming out. So it's doing something there. And you got the oils in your hand, and you know, the heat, and it just finishes it off, you know. And that's, you just end up with this beautiful finish. And you know, you can just sit there while you're watching TV or whatever, and you know, you just rub it on your hand, whatever. You'll feel it heat up, and it just brings that whole finish together and sets it in, I guess. But now it's kind of rock hard. It's like glass, and you know, it's looking pretty good. One thing I did forget to mention, and let me throw that in there now. After you do your last finish, you want to wait a couple days before you start buffing and going with the brown paper sack. Give yourself about 2 days, 36 hours, 48 hours. Give yourself some time. Let it sit. After you put on your 10 coats, your 4 coats or whatever, let that thing sit for a couple days. Then you can start your final buffing out, because it needs time to cure. It definitely needs time to cure. And like I said, you won't regret letting it sit. You know, Like I said, I'm not the most patient person, but you know, if you jump on things too quick with this stuff, you're gonna end up doing more work. And I did. Like I said, I went back and fixed this thing 6 times. And a lot of times it wasn't my fault. It was because of, you know, there was a little piece of steel wool on there. There was a little piece of dust, or I had set it on the cardboard, you know, where on the black it'll show up. Like I said, most things you won't have a problem with. But if you can, and you're probably not doing 25 slingshots like me, you know, get them up in the air, hang them up, and that's going to be your best way to do them. You know, but you can't beat the Tru Oil finish. I mean, for certain things, depending on what you want to do. I really like it, man. You know, it's a nice finish, and like I said, your drying conditions, humidity, everything. I mean, sometimes it'll be done. You'll be ready to put on the next coat in 3-4 hours, but just let it sit. Be patient, and you'll come out with some nice stuff like this. You know, it's all the work you put into it. You know, like anything else. You know, you want to try to get it done real quick and everything. Well, you want to pay for it. That's all I can tell you. All right, one more note here. This Tru Oil, Perry told me that this stuff will dry out real quick on you. Now, I happen to buy an 8-ounce bottle, which is a whole lot because, like I said, you're only using a little tiny little dab. Well, 8 ounces is a lot. You can buy the 3-ounce bottle, it'll last you forever. Don't even bother. I did buy the 8-ounce bottle because it was cheaper. I don't know, that's just me. But what I did was, and you know what, there was a little bit left in the bottom of the bottle, and by the time I went to use it a couple days later, it was already hard. So now I got this much in the bottom, it's all hardened because of the air in the bottle. So what I did was, if you do buy a larger bottle, or even a smaller one, I put it in small containers, and I filled it up to the brim. So that way, when I go to use that one bottle, it's going to be nice and fresh, and hopefully I'll have some Tru Oil for years to come without it going bad on me, because it ain't a bargain if you end up throwing it away. So that's about it. That's Tru Oil. That's the Tru Oil finish. And if you got any questions, feel free to PM me. Check out Perry's Paul Sailor's Crafts Facebook page, and he'll give you more information than I can about finishes. So be sure to check him out, and happy slinging, man. That's it. The Tru Oil finish. There you go, boys.